Hey there, good afternoon. We are in a next weather alert. Thank you for joining us. I'm meteorologist Alyssa alongside meteorologist Eliasen and our executive weather producer on a couple of more storms, a few more storms.
Here we go. I feel like every time we do this, it's like, all right, we'll start with the first storm. The parade of storm just keeps coming. I was just doing a graphic. It's like, how far out do we go? Obviously, we want to talk about the weekend here, but it looks like there could be another storm sometime next week. I think the good news is tonight's storm is basically a miss. I mean, there's a few flurries. Thursday's storm is not a major deal, so we get through most of this week without any real highly impactful stuff.
Right, that certainly helps, especially coming off the weekend we had with plenty of snow, and so we get a little bit of a breather, but just a little bit.
Yeah, so let's take a look. We got 3 things to watch for now anyways. Again, we talked about that little bit of light snow tonight along the south coast, the early Thursday wintry mix, and then just sort of a general stormy looking weekend. The weekend looks like it could be like a longer duration, more impactful, juicier kind of storm, but we'll get into that one in a little bit. This is just a sort of, we've shown this graphic before, showing the parade of storms, and we'll get into each one of these. And so if it's zipping by too fast, this is just to show that basically there's like an express, a train on the tracks in the Pacific, and it's just zooming into the U.S., one storm after another, and that final storm for the weekend, and then you can see there's already another one.
Oh, right, another low pressure forming up there, the storm number 4 that you were just talking about. So we've got a few to get through first before we get there, but a very active weather pattern.
Yeah, really one of the most active patterns. I've heard some folks try to make a comparison to 10 years ago. We had our crazy winter when we had over 100 inches of snow. And yes, I guess you could say they were both active patterns, but those storms back in 2015 were like blockbuster, nor'easters, big events. This is just kind of like quick hitters. So
yeah, they have been really, really quick.
Yeah, we haven't really had like a nor'easter, a bombogenesis. You haven't heard any of those terms, at least not yet this winter. And that was what 2015 was all about, like major storms. 2 feet of snow a couple times over. So thankfully the pattern is active but not explosive like it was back then.
Right, and what we're seeing now, not only have they been quick hitting, but also just getting dry air mixing in hasn't really helped much with getting those storm totals up. Other than this past weekend storm, we actually got some decent accumulation.
Yeah. So what you're looking at right now is storm, I guess you could say storm number 1, although it's really going to largely miss the area here. We'll bring a good deal of snow down to like the mid-Atlantic. Washington, D.C. is getting some accumulating snow. But up this way, it's going to be just scraping by. And you'll see that just a little bit of that blue shielding after midnight tonight, really just like south coast in the Cape. Not a whole lot to worry about down there. Coating, maybe there's an inch somewhere, but it's literally, we're getting the very northern fringe of this thing. And then you'll see it kind of move off very quickly. So by tomorrow morning, you won't even know anything happened unless you're on the Cape and you get a little bit of dusting. And there's our latest big snowfall forecast for tonight.
Right, exactly what you're talking about, though. We're getting, plenty of activity, but how much is it really amounting to? Not much so far.
Yep, so that's storm number 1, no biggie. Storm number 2, so we're going to start you Wednesday at 9 o'clock, and you'll see a little bit of snow moving in. So by midnight or 1 a.m. on Thursday, there's some light snow. It's probably going to be sort of patchy. This model looks a little bit more aggressive than a few others that we've been looking at. But anyways, most of the area will get a little bit of light snow Thursday in the early morning hours, but it pretty quickly changes over once again to like a sleet, and then as you can see, quite a bit of rain along the coast.
It does, yeah, that is a quick changeover, and one of the reasons that we did want to put that next weather alert out, because when those temperatures warm up a little bit, creating those icy spots on the roadways, that's more of the concern for the morning commute on Thursday. But look how quickly it dries out very, very fast. So that's what we're talking about, these fast moving systems.
Yep, so again, it's nowhere near a highly impactful event by New England standards. We're just, again, this is in the first couple hours from like 1 a.m. to 3 or 4 a.m. Very similar to last Thursday's storm, not in the timing so much as the impacts. Like, I think most of the area had a coating to an inch last Thursday before it changed over, and we're talking the same kind of thing, mostly northern Mass, and we think better chance of an inch of snow up towards the New Hampshire border because it just takes a little longer for the warm air to get there. Everywhere else it comes in a little quicker. So again, but no big deal, but you mentioned it could be a little icy for sure Thursday morning. So even if the snow isn't a big impactful thing, a little bit of ice on the roads could cause some issues.
Yeah, sure, and it doesn't take a lot for it to cause those problems. So any little amount of ice can cause those hazardous road conditions for the morning. So this is why we're thinking, hey, more of a morning commute impact type.
Could be one of those days where, especially north and west of town, there may be some delays for the schools. Again, not from any big snow totals, but just from that wintry mix. This graphic will show, so that anything in the blue is over 32 degrees. That purple is just under. So you can see this is 7 a.m. Thursday. This is just one model, but I think it's a good representation, similar to the graphic that you just showed, where it could be a little bit icy Thursday morning in that, Worcester County, Western Mass. And I wouldn't be shocked, and you'll see here, even up in like northern Middlesex County, northern Essex County, Thursday morning, temperatures could be very close to freezing. So again, something to be aware of. If you're headed out, it looks like it's just wet Thursday morning. It actually could be a little icy in spots.
Yeah, well, and a good reminder just how quickly temperatures do go above freezing here as the system passes through. So yeah, there's a good amount of rain that's going to come out of this as well.
And then Thursday night, everybody goes below freezing. So any standing water that's left on the roadways, and there will be, I would assume, quite a bit of it, given the rain, especially the rain in southeastern Mass, that could freeze up Thursday night. So a few minor hazards to be aware of Thursday. Again, not a major storm by any means, no wind concerns, no coastal concerns. The weekend storm, obviously, is a little farther out, so we don't have as much detail, but it does look like it has a little more juice to it, meaning like a little more precipitation involved with it. I hesitate to get too far in detail with timing and snow, but it's been fairly consistent coming in sometime later Saturday.
Saturday, and then a little bit trickling into Sunday as well. So we flagged Sunday just to say potential weather hazards.
And you can see this particular model, and again, it's only Tuesday. We're talking about Sunday, so this is bound to change. But this particular model has that snow coming in first, and then changing over to that pink icing overnight, and then eventually to rain on Sunday morning for most of the area, maybe some lingering ice. But again, don't take this with a very large grain of salt. It's way early. We'll be watching the trends, but at any rate, you can see it's definitely longer lasting. I mean, this thing started Saturday afternoon, and here we are now into Sunday afternoon. So definitely could be a little bit of a higher impact storm. Details still need to be worked out. And I just threw this in here. This is just a model. Don't take this is just to give you an idea. This is not a huge snowstorm. That light blue is like 1 to 3 inches. The darker blue up in northern Mass would be over 3 inches, but that could very easily change. But my main point in putting this up is to say this is not going to be, more likely than not, it's not going to be another major snowstorm, just more of a mixed kind of deal.
Right, and so that just speaks to, the active pattern hasn't really produced a lot, but we've seen, at least a little bit of something multiple times.
Yes.
Throughout
I feel every couple of days something's fallen from the sky, but it's not not a major impactful event. End on a couple of fun notes. So moonrise tonight at 4:15. It'll be officially full tomorrow morning, but so pretty close to being full tonight. The issue, of course, will be that storm going by to our south. So there could be quite a bit of cloudiness around. But maybe up in southern New Hampshire, with further away from the storm, you could be some cirrus clouds, and you'll see the nearly full snow moon.
Listen, yeah, I love that, the snow moon.
Right, how fitting.
With all the snow that we've seen so far.
So it'll be rising above the horizon tonight at 4:15, and tomorrow night around 5:15. So just kind of something cool to note. And of course, I'm sure a lot of folks are looking down the 7-day towards Friday.
Luckily, it kind of squeezes in there between two of these systems. So, whatever these storms bring, although impacts we think will be minor, at least for Friday, we don't have to worry about any.
Yeah, this is a good news. Snuck right in between. You'll see it in the 7-day. Friday, Valentine's Day, snuck right in between the two storms. It'll be cold, and it's going to be kind of windy on Friday, so it's not like you're going to go for a dip in the pool. But going out to dinner, going out to lunch, no issues there. And again, first half of Saturday looking decent, and then we get into whatever happens on the weekend, we get into it Saturday night.
Well, both of our holidays on the 7-day forecast look okay. There's President's Day on Monday.
Yep.
Temperatures upper 20. It's just going to be cold. There's plenty of cold mornings ahead. This morning was one of them, and the next several days, we got a lot of chilly mornings ahead.
Yeah, so typical winter stuff, I guess. It's funny, we are now so December and January were both below average months, which was the first time we had 2 below average months in 5 years.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
And now February, as of this morning, I think it was 1.8 degrees below average. So there's a chance we could go the entire winter with all below average.
Wow.
Which, again, I'll have to look up to see when the last time that was, but that's quite unusual these days.
And can you believe meteorological winter almost done in February? We're just a couple weeks away
almost
from
there.
meteorological spring.
Boom. Once we get to a couple more weeks, we're in March, and it's like,
We got
whatever
good stuff
happens,
coming up,
happens.
yeah.
So anyways, Alyssa will be on at noon. Eric will update tonight on those 2 minor storms and 1 potential bigger one.
Yeah.